Hello everyone, this is Arrow, and welcome back to Sundown Luna Podfics. Today we'll be continuing Fic Bullies by RandomWeirdCat. Chapter 42. Summary. Checking in with Izuku. Izuku refused to talk, even under all the villain's quirks. He wouldn't even make a peep. It was almost like he was completely shut down. Right in the middle of All for One talking to him, Izuku's eyes glazed over and his shoulders slumped as if he faded off. Izuku, please answer me. There, I said it. Now can you come back from wherever you are? I can't reach wherever you went. All for One spoke as softly as he could with the oxygen mask over his mouth. Izuku didn't respond. A slow blink was all the reply he received. All for One reaches out, places his hand over Izuku's. The boy jerks his hand back. The blank look still remained on his face. All for One leans down, his mask close to Izuku. But you aren't you right now, are you? One for All is a quirk, passed down through generations, and now it's landed on your shoulders, and going completely off script. It's taking you within it, hasn't it? The villain crosses his arms. I will piece this together. Daigoro, is it you again? He tilts his head. No, I believe it's someone else. Shimura? Another blank stare, no reaction whatsoever. All for One huffs. The oxygen mask pushes the air back into his lungs immediately, and his shoulders shudder with the breath. No, who is it this time? All for One reaches out again. Red and black tendrils shoot from his fingers. The boy suddenly jumps back, his feet skidding on the floor to slow himself. There's a faint pop as Izuku's knees bend into a crouch. The boy is fit perfectly in the corner, his back pressed to the walls with his hands dangling in front of him. All for One snaps his fingers together in revelation. Ah, Shinomori, I should have guessed. You did have quite the perfect expressionless face like the one Izuku has. He raised off the edge of the bed. The frame gives a subtle creak as he leaves. There's a slight twinge in Izuku's eye, and the green shifts into another shade of green. I know the situation looks bad when looming through Izuku's eyes, but I can fix this. I can make him better. Just a simple touch and he'll be fine. The villain takes a step towards the cornered boy. Izuku's hands reach up and he clings to the wall. Come now, you're making this worse. If you truly don't wish for me to use any quirks, we can talk this out, face to face. That is, if you'll allow it. All for One kneels, holding his palm out to the boy. The boy only stares. A shaky hand reaches out, and black whip leaks from the boy's skin. The quirk rushes at him, wrapping around his wrist and pulling him forward. The tips of their fingers brush together. All for One can feel a shift. Taking a step back, there's a shift in the air. It's lighter to breathe. His mask is gone from his face. He can see without a single quirk helping him. Dark skies, gray rocky floor, a door. He's within the connection of their quirks. All for One chuckles. Ah, the vault. You never truly understood its purpose, brother. Reaching his hand out, he holds onto the cold doorknob. The door flies open and a person stands in the doorway, blocking everything behind it. All for One hands clench into fist. Daigoro, I can't say it's nice to see you again. A ghost from the past comes to greet him. Face to face? You bastard, you ain't even got a face or the balls. Well, I'm here now, so wouldn't that counter that statement? All for One watches as the man's shoulders fall. Smartass, you've ruined everything. You've ruined him. Daigoro glances over his shoulder. All for One reaches out. His knees tremble as he tried to move. Nah, this is our turf. You can't control shit here. Daigoro crosses his arms over his chest and glares at him. The villain tries again to shift his feet, finding the pressure that was building in his head extremely annoying. I did not ruin Izuku. Lion snake, you just had to see, had to pry open his mind. Everything you touch shatters. Daigoro takes a step forward, easily and without hesitation. He squared his chest with All for One. I'll admit I might have gone too far within such a short amount of time, but I can fix it. I can make it worse. No more quirks on him. We won't allow it. Daigoro spoke through clenched teeth. A vein within his neck threatened to pop. The villain can feel the hum of his quirk under his skin. He might not be able to physically move, but his quirks might still work. The tips of his fingers darken. Daigoro is ready. Black Whip fills the air, ready to attack. A voice freezes them. Stop. Keiji froze in this attempt. Daigoro turns to the side, allowing him to see inside the room. Ashi, along with Nana Shimura hovering over him, sat a plush throne with Izuku held to his chest. The boy had his arms wrapped around his brother's neck, and his other hand was being held by Shimura. There seemed to be a layer of fog covering his mouth and body. His hands and eyes were the only thing not covered. More ghosts. Keiji feels the pressure lift, just a slight bit, but it's enough. Lifting his trembling legs, he stomps a foot forward. Black Whip reacts and grabs onto his arms and legs, pulling him back. His hand catches a space in the doorway, clawing and digging into the cold metal. No, let me in, Ashi. His brother shakes his head, and his pale strands of hair shift as he does. A small smile greets him instead of a glare. Brother, find someone suitable for Izuku's therapy. We are trying to undo some of the damage done, but he's gone somewhere I can't reach either. Ashi runs his hands through Izuku's curls, stopping when a strand is too curly and restarts. All for One's other hand claws at Daigoro, who stood next to him, and the ghost grabs him in return. I've killed you once, so do I need to do it again? All for One snarls. His lip curls and he digs his fingernails into the ghost's leather jacket. I dare you to. Enough already, Shimura shouts at them. She stood in front of Ashi and Izuku. The two pause their efforts, and Daigoro's Black Whip holds steady onto the villain. All for One holds his hand out. I have something that could assist him, but if this baboon doesn't get off me, I'm going to rip his... He steadily trails off into a tangent. Shimura holds her hands on her hips. Her cape seems to flutter, even with no wind in the air. All for One slams his fist into Daigoro's chest. His fingertips change, and the tendrils slam into the ghost's chest. Skidding back, Daigoro's Black Whip slips. All for One stumbles into the doorway, and he grins. Izuku. Shimura stands to the side, showing his brother and the boy. Ashi stares at his hand with narrowed eyes. A small spark ignites in his palm. Ashi's eyes widen, and he twists Izuku from his brother's sight. No, that is not going to help him. That quirk, you took it from him, you His brother raised his hand, and Shimura raises hers. Shadows of other figures appear from behind them, holding their arms up as well. There's another pull in his mind. His feet skid back, and he's pulled from the doorway. No! All for One falls back onto his rear. He sees Izuku still in the corner of the room, fingers digging into the walls. The villain sighs, standing up and brushing his pants off of anything. It seems I need to return with someone suitable for you. Brother, even in death you're still a bother. His theories were correct. One for All was living. Ghosts were held deep within, and they did talk to Izuku. He approaches the small boy, but this time there isn't any reaction from the boy. Hoisting the boy up, his arms under his knees and supporting his head, All for One approaches the bed. Such an interesting boy. Don't worry, we'll continue our conversation soon, right after I collect someone. All for One places the boy down and tucks him in. His hand brushes the boy's hair back from his forehead. He stops for a second before pushing the hair back over his forehead. From certain angles, the boy really does resemble his brother. Similar noses and the same eye colors. One for All, along with its final users and his brother, all back within his grasp. He croaks out a laugh. His mask wheezes out with him. His brother still lived, just inside this small child. He still was holding a grudge for the vaulting, it seemed. No matter. Izuku's eyes flutter closed, curling in the bed until he forms a ball. A thought struck him. All for One knew exactly who he was going to collect for Izuku. Seemed he needed to plan a small trip. Alright everyone, that is the end for chapters 42 of Fuck Bullies. I have caught up to the fic, finally. There's only 42 chapters, and this Fic was last updated over a year ago, so I have no idea when it's gonna upload again, but I'll make sure to make another episode once it does. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you all enjoyed this story. I'll see you all soon. Bye!